is a ton of fun. Success is probably one of the most fun things on the planet, but it's only as fun as the ease of it. If you are brute forcing your way to success every single day, it's going to get tiring. And success is only as fun as the journey is. So instead of chasing success, actually getting success to show its face to you is easily done. It's not easy, but it's simple. Let me say that. It's simply done with two different steps. And that's what I'm going to break down in today's video. This comes as a afterthought from a Myron Golden video that I just watched. In that video, he said, educating yourself to a higher level by learning principles that can give you the ability to tell yourself a better story. He also said, not getting God to do your thing, but when you pray is to get me to be in tune with God so that I can do his thing. So instead of me praying so he can do my thing, I'm praying so I can get in order to do his thing. But we're going to touch more on the first part, which is educating yourself at a higher level to learn the principles. Educating yourself at a higher level by learning the principles that can give you the ability to tell yourself a better story. And Myron Golden talks about being able to take somebody's idea or thought that they give you or that they promote or they say, and then develop your ideas that you have afterwards. And so the ideas I had once I heard that was how everything is scary, risky, and it's a gamble to the ignorant. Just because it's scary, risky, and a gamble to you doesn't mean in real life it's actually a gamble, risk, or a scary thing. It just so happens that you're an ignorant person in that matter. So you have to educate yourself with a coach, a mentor, or pure field work. Those are your three options. Now, your coach is going to be somebody that is walking along you with the logistics. A mentor is a person that's walking along with you on the emotions. And the pure field work is just what it says. Pure field work, getting in the field, doing exactly what you're supposed to do, as far as doing the thing every single day. That's how you educate yourself, right? How many times do you have to think how to brush your teeth? None, because you've done it so many times, twice a day, since you were 4. So you don't have to think about it, right? And so that's like pure field work. You've been in the field of brushing your teeth every single day. So you don't have to think about it anymore. So you're no longer looking at it as something that is something you can't do or can't overcome because you've educated yourself through pure field work. That's what I mean when I say that. Now, you always get the framework from a coach or mentor. You're always supposed to get the framework from a coach or a mentor. So when you're trying to find success in something, right now it is scary, risky, and a gamble to you. That means that you are not first getting yourself to invest in your coach or your mentor, because you always have to get the framework first. So in the beginning I said there's two different things to do. The first is to get that framework from your coach or your mentor. Why do I say that? Because your coach or your mentor has already done it. Your coach or your mentor has been where you've been. Your coach or your mentor is not out to take your money. They're literally teaching you a way to do what they already do. So likely they already do it in their lives already, or they have been doing it for so long that they no longer do it, but they've done it for so long that that's the trade-off. Either they're currently still doing it, or they've done it for long enough that they don't have to do it anymore. That's the trade-off of each other. However, step number 1 is to always get the framework, because you have to have someone who knows what they're doing in order to give you and determine what the field work will be. So like I said, the whole point of this is educating yourself to a higher level to learn principles that give you the ability to tell yourself a better story. When something that you want to be successful at is risky, it's scary, and it's a gamble, that's because you're ignorant. How do you educate yourself so you're no longer ignorant, right? Because ignorant is the lack of knowledge in something or the lack of knowing something. Or you have knowledge about something, but not enough to not feel like it's a risk or a gamble or something that's scary for you, right? It eliminates anxiety. Confusion is what breeds anxiety. So what you're trying to do is get yourself to a point where you're no longer confused about it. So if you always get the framework from a mentor or a coach, then you can determine what your field work should be. Now, a lot of people don't do the coach or the mentor route for the sake of saving money on an coach or a mentor. Point blank, period. There's not a lot of people that don't get a coach or a mentor because they feel like they don't need one, or they're too smart, or they can figure it out themselves. The majority of people who avoid getting a coach or a mentor is because they don't want to pay somebody for it. And that is going to be a direct correlation to why you're not ever going to be able to reap the benefits of living at a higher level. Because if you can't even dish out money to someone that either knows what they're doing and they still do it, or they know what they're doing and they've done it for so long that they no longer have to do it anymore, or they've taught other people that can teach you, then that means that you're just not ready. So step number one is to always get the framework, because you need someone to tell you and to show you what the field work should be. A lot of people just jump into the framework because they don't want to pay a coach or a mentor. They want everything for free. But that's going to give you 20 years of field work, and it's going to give you no results. And by the time if you do get results, you're actually going to end up not being able to use it or to appreciate it or to actually be able to use these resources that you're building up. It's not going to make any sense. The point of trying to become successful in something is so that you can actually use the thing that you're trying to be successful at. Now, if it takes you 20 years, 30 years, 40 years, great. But by that point, and you're doing it on your own for the sake of not having a coach or a mentor, that is pointless. So getting that framework from a person who's already done it is what you need. Because I'm telling you, that's the key. Because this person can expedite the process. They're like, hey, these are all the things I did wrong. Even if I'm giving you 15 things that I did wrong, and you go find 15 things that I didn't talk about, at least you don't have to deal with the 15 I told you. That's been my experience, where I will have a lot of things given to me on all the things that they did wrong and what to avoid. And I will still find a million other things that they didn't touch on, but at least I didn't have to deal with what they told me. That's just the end of it, right? It's always going to be messy, but it's important that, hey, if there's 1,000 different problems out here, I'd rather you tell me 500 and I figure out 500 than me figure out all of them on my own. Okay, so when you figure out the field work, which is the everyday grinding, the everyday trial and error, the everyday getting to that success, you are going to go rep it no matter what it costs. And you're going to do it as an experiment. So that experiment is holding something as an independent variable, something as a dependent variable, and you're essentially going to do that and take notes, and you're going to start to get clarity, and success is going to show itself. So that's how success is going to show its face to you. Is one, you get someone to tell you how it's supposed to work, so you at least have something to build off of, and you at least know what you should be doing on a day-to-day basis to become successful, which is the field work, right? Almost like a football player. Like, they need a coach, but at the end of the day, the coach cannot run the field for them. They can't catch balls for them. They can't do workouts for them. They still have to go out and do the field work, but at least they know exactly what they should be doing to be successful because they have a coach or a mentor, a coach in this aspect, literally a football coach. So the second thing is you're going to rep it. Whatever you find out the field work, once you complete with that mentor or that coach, now you're moving into the field work. Okay? You don't technically need another mentor or a coach. You can, but what's better is getting in the process of self-learning from a launch pad. So you don't want to be bootstrapping the whole process, because bootstrapping the whole process is going to take you forever and it's a waste of time. What they're doing is giving you a launch pad. Now, if you get a coach or a mentor and you keep them, well, you no longer have a launch pad. You literally have somebody that's dragging you along with them, and you're going to benefit highly from that. But for the majority of people, they're not going to keep a coach or a mentor for a year or 6 months or 3 months or whatever for a long amount of time. As far as what I've heard, as far as success stories, most people just get one coach or mentor and they, move on. Now, that's something I'm not really 200% on how everyone will act in that. But for my case, determining the field work, exactly what I need to be doing to become successful, and doing it in reps. Again, like changing certain things in the process, changing certain things, as in like keeping some things independent that I know should be independent, and then keeping like changing some things to making them dependent variables. And if you don't know what independent variables are in the sense of science and science experiments, Google that, because that is what I'm referring to. Independent variables as an experiment, because you're going to rep the field work they basically showed you, that like whatever blueprint they gave you, you're going to put it on rinse and repeat, no matter what the cost is. It's going to cost you time. It's going to cost you money. It's going to cost you a lot of your energy. It's going to cost you a lot of friendships, a lot of just time. But I'm telling you, it's worth it. When you have success showing its face to you, and you're like, oh, wow, it actually wasn't that hard. It's actually not that difficult. It's actually so not scary or risky or a gamble, because I know exactly how somebody's done it before. So that also gives you a sense of comfort, right? Because if you're doing something from complete bootstrapping, how do you know what to have as an independent variable? How do you know what to have as a dependent? You don't really have anything at all, right? And it may take you years to figure out those independent and dependent variables on your own. But if somebody can give you all the pieces, and all you're doing is kind of running the play, kind of doing the field work, seeing how they mix together in combinations. So when you don't have a coach or a mentor and you're bootstrapping it, you're essentially creating your own ingredients, and then you're cooking the recipe. When you have a coach or a mentor, they give you all the ingredients, they give you a recipe, they give you basically everything, and then you go and you mix the combinations, and you figure out the timing, and you figure out the like details. Which again, like I'm saying, like most people don't actually need a mentor or a coach to bring them through that, because it's pretty much handed to you, and you can just do the field work, and that's going to be in direct proportion to how much you actually want to put into your journey, because some people are going to work harder, some people are going to not work as hard, but it depends on how hard you want to work, how much time and energy you want to put into it, or if you just want to get that coach or mentor and keep them forever, for 3 6 months or whatever the case is. Personally, like if I mentor people, I don't mentor less than 3 months, because it just doesn't make sense. Because if you want a coach or a mentor past me telling you the field work to go do on your own, that means that you really actually, like, there's no in between of like, hey, you need me for 2 weeks, but no, I actually kind of need you for three. Like, no, if you either need me to tell you everything off the jump as a launch pad, or you need me to guide you through the initial process till you're on your own 2 feet. And that normally is like a 3 month process. So, of getting somebody on their own feet in something. So that's the reason why mentoring and coaching typically is sold in those packages, because you really do need time to build those up. I'm basically taking you through all the combinations that could work, why they don't work, which ones work for you, and making it a very personal process. But anyways, that's a separate topic. So that's literally how you get success to show its face, and you stop chasing success. You find the mentor or coach so they can give you the field work of every single piece of the framework and blueprint, all the recipes, all the ingredients, and then you go and you take all those ingredients and all those things, and you run it like an experiment, holding independent and dependent variables until clarity shows itself, because it's going to. There's no doubt about it. It's absolutely 1,000% going to show its face. Success is going to show its face, clarity is going to show its face. And this goes back to what Myron Golden said. It's like educating yourself to a higher level by learning principles that give you the ability to tell yourself a better story. So in this case, we're telling ourselves, hey, the success that we want is not scary or risky or a gamble. we're just ignorant. So let's go out and educate ourselves through a coach or a mentor and then go and put in the work. But you have to first determine what the field work is. That is the biggest part of success that most people miss, is that you're trying to find out the field work on your own when somebody has it. And again, like a coach or a mentor doesn't have to cost money. There are free people on the internet, but then again, if you pay somebody and they have this whole entire program they have just put together, condensed all in one, it's easier to learn that way. However, there's free YouTube videos all over the place, free Discords, free TikTok, free whatever. Personally, I don't do the free route. I'm not gonna waste my time. If I want to learn something, I'm going to the person that can teach it, and then I'm going to move on. But then again, I'm a very hyper focused person. I don't have 15 different things that I do with my life. I'm very soul focused on only basically two things, really one. And that's what I do with my entire life. So, which is finance. Like, that's literally what I do with my entire life. So I don't have to go to 15 different mentors to get 15 different things, because I'm not trying to educate myself on anything besides the thing that I'm interested in. But anywho, that's how you get success to show its face to you, because you have to educate yourself and get someone to tell you the pure field work. But then again, if you watch somebody's, like, if there's a person who you really enjoy and they're doing what you want to do, you watch every single one of their YouTube videos, every single one of their Instagram posts, every single one of their TikToks, you're going to find that field work for free. But it might take you 6 months to get through all that. And again, like, life is life. So that's really going to be like a year. It's going to be 6 months of content that you're going to take a year to get through, which doesn't really make sense. So yeah, anywho, I pray this message bless you guys, and I will talk to y'all in my next video. And that's how you get success to literally follow you instead of you chase it.